Welcome back to Money on a Mission. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, here with both Colin Evans and Micah Tipton from Evans Financial Group. And we are having an important conversation today all about lowering your potential tax liability in retirement. The title of today's show, To Contribute or Not to Contribute. We started off by sharing the problem that for many Americans, the bulk of their wealth has been saved in these tax-deferred retirement accounts. And we know that the tax man is coming for that money. So we need to talk about how we can reduce this tax liability. And you all brought up this awesome tax bill calculator software. Again, if you visit evanstaxbill.com, you can actually go put in some basic information. You're going to be able to see side-by-side comparison the government's tax plan for you versus what you can potentially save in taxes if you enact some of these strategies. So, Micah, first up, what are some of the solutions that you're able to employ for folks?
Yeah, hey, saving on taxes is one of the best things that we can do for people. And some of that starts early. You don't have to wait until retirement and start considering Roth conversions because you've built up these massive IRA balances or 401k balances that the government's got their hand out waiting for their tax money. There are options. So, if you work for an employer that has a 401k plan, one of the relatively new features of Secure Act is that they can now allow Roth 401k contributions, and the companies can match them. So that's something that hasn't been around forever. If you don't have access to an employer 401k, if you're just saving money in your IRA, you could transition those contributions into a Roth IRA. Okay, so what we're doing with those two options, we're circumventing that future tax bill right now. So you won't get the tax deduction in this tax year, but you're paying those taxes again while rates are really low.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about paying taxes on that money and all of the growth for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And one of the other features that the Secure Act 2.0 has allowed for us is not having to take RMDs from those accounts.
Those required minimum distributions, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that's almost a forced income on some people when they don't need that money and they're having to take it out anyways and pay the taxes on it, reinvest it, pay taxes again on that money. So these are just very simple ways to start off on the right foot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, as you're saying that, Micah, I know so many folks, and I used to be one of them, was ingrained with being taught, no, you take the tax break today, right? You take the tax break today, and then you worry about it later. So what would you say to someone that's like, well, wait a second, but what if I only contribute to the Roth accounts and I don't contribute to the traditional IRA or the traditional 401k, I'm going to lose that tax break today. How do you help folks navigate that decision?
That's, it's like you said, it's been kind of, ingrained, in us, in our heads of, I need to grab that deduction now.
Right.
But this might actually be a better thing of not taking that deduction right now and doing this with those after-tax dollars. And there's a great example I heard over the years that we've used for many of our workshops, and that comes into kind of a farming story is, would you rather pay the taxes on the seed or would you rather pay taxes on the harvest? Which one's going to be a smaller number?
Right.
And we think about that. If you had $100,000 that you put away into a 401k or an IRA and you got to deduct all that, and that account grew without you putting any more funding into it, potentially grew to, say, $200,000. You deducted at $100 to later pay the taxes on $2. Is this making sense? This is, see where we're kind of going with that. And so this is really, we're playing the long game, and as opposed to that, when we're taking that deduction now is really short-term planning, almost short-sighted, because we're really not taking into consideration, what is the future going to look like? What are potential tax bills going to go into? And as Micah said just recently, it's like we're $35+ trillion in debt.
Yep.
I think we're going to see some increases in taxes at some point. Uncle Sam is going to have to, as opposed to kicking the can further and further down the road, to hopefully, get rid of some of this tax, this tax debt problem that our country has put us in.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why, again, if you even want to, during the show, visit evanstaxbill.com. You can click on that, either go to that website, click on that QR code, and begin to see the difference between the government's plan for you if you do nothing and what you could potentially save for yourself on taxes. Which brings me to another solution conversation that I know that you're really passionate about helping folks engage in. That's something known as a Roth conversion. And we know that some folks haven't been able to contribute to a Roth account in the past. Maybe they've earned too much and there are income limits for that. But anybody can do a Roth conversion, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. For somebody who, followed the old rule of thumb that, let's take the deduction this year, that's the better option. Maybe they did save up all that money, or maybe they weren't able to contribute to a Roth account. So whatever the circumstance, they're at retirement, they've got this big nest egg, and they owe taxes on all of it. Well, we don't have to just wait until required minimum distributions force you to take it out and pay the taxes. We can be proactive with that while taxes are low. And what a Roth conversion entails is peeling off a little bit of that taxable money at a time. We want to pay attention to what tax bracket our clients are in. And if they have room until they're going to be at a higher tax bracket, we can fill up a little bit of that with that Roth conversion, because it's going to count as income. And they pay the taxes on it, but once it's converted, it can grow completely tax-free for the rest of their retirement until they need it. And if they don't ever need it, the kids get a tax-free inheritance.
Right, which is also a blessing for them as
Absolutely.
well. As you were talking, I just had this image of it's you're moving money from the bucket of taxed always to taxed never again, right?
Yes.
That's what this is doing. But it takes strategy, because to your point, you don't want to ever do too much in any given year to inadvertently bump someone up into a higher tax bracket. And then again, Colin, if you can just share with our viewers, why is this conversation around Roth conversions such a time-sensitive conversation? Why is this important right now?
It is, because we're still in the Trump tax code, and at the end of 2025 and January 1 of 2026, we know the sunset provision is ending and taxes are going to revert back to the Obama era
if Congress does nothing. We always say that, right?
And we know that's potentially there.
Yep.
And as we've
reality.
seen as of late and over the last couple of years, are they looking out for their best interest or ours? So that's always, that throws it now, I think, a little bit more of the veil being lifted, going, wait a second, was this IRA or this 401k that great of a deal, knowing that my account grew and now I have to pay a larger tax bill on it? This might not have been as great of a savings plan as I originally thought it was,
right,
or I was originally told that it was. So that's one of the things when folks come into our office, we want you to bring in tax statements. Those are going to be one of the things that we want to look at as we start to prepare a strategy and put a strategy in place. We want to look at what tax strategies and mitigation can we do. We want to keep as much on your side of the table as opposed to Uncle Sam. Frankly, they haven't done that great of a job with the money that we've given them. I think if we started writing checks to where the funds were going, people would probably rewrite the tax codes for our government. Like,
right.
I really don't feel like I need to send any more money overseas. I don't feel like there's certain things that don't fit that the government does that I don't want to be a part of, yet we are. So that's one of the things that we really want to focus on, because we still have the opportunity, while tax rates are still in some of the lowest rates possible, that we can take advantage of that and we can keep more money on our client's side of the table. And that's a huge hug around the neck that we get when they get to see that.
Yes, for sure. Because again, it's not about how much you have, it's about how much you get to keep.
How much
And
you keep.
we want you to be able to keep more of your hard-earned money. So again, if you would like help putting a strategic tax plan together for yourself, for no cost, no charge, no obligation, we invite you to pick up the phone, call that number you see on the bottom of your screen, and claim your very own complimentary written financial plan with the team of Evans Financial Group. 888-504-2351. Or again, you're also welcome to scan that QR code, and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more right after this.